What is up, Bears fans? This is your Bears Huddle podcast. I'm Aaron James, and this is all your latest Chicago Bears news, guys. We're going to talk one of the big training camp battles. We're going to talk the left tackle battle. Look, a lot of franchises going into training camp, it's all about the QB battle. It's all about the wide receivers vying for targets. It's all about the tight ends placing themselves. It's all about the edge rushers getting themselves into place to be the top edge rushers. But, look, despite whatever Tyson Bagent may claim about wanting a QB1 battle going into training camp, which, quite clearly is not going to happen. Caleb Williams is QB1. Ben Johnson sees Caleb Williams as QB1. I think Tyson Bagent is living in cloud cuckoo land if he thinks he's got any chance of getting the starting job. I think Tyson Bagent will be better looking over his own shoulder and worrying about losing the QB2 role to experienced veteran Case Keenum, who quite clearly obviously brings a lot of NFL experience, but not only that, brings the ability to mentor and support Caleb Williams' development, something that Bagent cannot do. So, look, I don't think there's any QB battle. Like I said, I think Tyson Bagent is absolutely high as if he thinks that there is any chance he ever gets to be a starter in Chicago. Right, look, the left tackle battle is quite clearly between Braxton Jones, Kieran Ammagagi and Ozzy Trapillo. And obviously Ozzy and Kieran have a massive, massive head start coming into training camp. They've attended OTAs, they've attended mini camps. Braxton Jones is still coming back from injury. And there's no kind of, guarantee really, is there, that Braxton or that Braxton will be back and fully fit and fully firing for the start of training camp, and obviously will therefore fall further behind Ozzy Trapillo and Kieran Ammagagi. I mean, look, I think the hope amongst the Bears coaching staff and amongst the Bears front office is that Ozzy Trapillo will emerge and will nail down that left tackle spot to be his own this off-season. I mean, the guy is an absolute monster in terms of his size. He's physical, he's strong, he's got all the attributes to go on to be an absolute top-class tackle in this league. It's whether or not he can mature and obviously develop the skill set to be able to do that. Now, he's lucky that he's working with one of the best offensive line coaches in the business in Dan Rauscher. So, obviously, that will massively help him going forward. But, you look at what the situation is with the Bears. Kieran Ammagagi, obviously, struggled when he was asked and he was called upon, did not do exceptionally well at all. I mean, if we look at his grades according to PFF, he was graded, overall grade, he was graded 135th out of 140 tackles. His pass blocking grade was 39.4, which grades him 128th out of 140. His run blocking grade was 54.6, grading him 105th out of 140. In the season 2024, he played 126 snaps, gave away 5 penalties and allowed 1 sack. So, overall, not hugely impressive numbers from Kieran Ammagagi. Now, I suppose the kind of the hope, I think, from amongst the Bears organisation, especially, given that Braxton Jones will be needing a new contract fairly soon, is that Kieran Ammagagi will kind of emerge as being someone who could be a backup at very least to Ozzy Trapillo. They're probably not going to want to have Braxton Jones or pay Braxton Jones, especially given the fact that some very, very poor left tackles and very average left tackles have been paid some serious sums of money this past off-season. I mean, witness Dan Moore, for example, to the Titans. That guy is third rate, yet has been paid a massive amount of money. In terms of Braxton Jones, 26 years old, 310 pounds, 6'5". His PFF grade, overall grade, was 77.4, which rated him 21st out of 140, which is actually not too bad. And I think not as bad as a lot of Bears fans made him out to be. His pass block grade was 80.8, which rates him 17th out of 140. His run block grade was 70.2, rating him 35th out of 140. He was 719 in his snap count, which made him 53rd out of 140 this past season. So in terms of, actual PFF grades, he's not that bad. I would describe Braxton Jones as being solid. Not spectacular, not terrible, solid. It's whether you want to go forward with that, or whether you feel that he can come back and get back to and improve on that level under the tutelage of Dan Rauscher. I mean, last year, 719 snaps, 7 penalties, but did allow 5 sacks. That is the big kind of worry. He gets 111th out of 140 in sacks allowed last season, which I don't think, is solely down to him. You obviously got a situation where the whole line struggled last season. But, 111th with 5 sacks allowed. He also was 57th, allowing 2 QB hits as well, and allowed 26 total pressures, ranking him 102nd. So, not dreadful. Like I said, Braxton Jones is a solid dude. That's what he is. He's a solid dude. Now, if he comes back, like I said, it is very much a concern is, can he get back to the previous levels? Can he improve? Can he overcome that injury? Now, Ozzy Trapillo, who was drafted in the second round of the recent NFL draft, who is very highly rated, who is a guy who I think the Bears, like I said, do believe and do hope will go on to be the main man in Chicago. This is a top lad. He is a guy who came out of Boston College. He's 6'5", 6'6". He's 143 kilos, 23 years old. Still very much in that development phase. And look, and I get, he has impressed in OTAs. He has impressed in minicamp. He impressed in rookie minicamp. But I get, the whole situation. If like that picture shows, it's football in shorts. It's not, pads on, full out, flat on. Let's go for it. Let's really put you under pressure. It isn't that, is it? That's not what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with football in shorts. Now, once obviously the pads come on, once the preseason starts, once we start to see some actual snaps in anger, you may see a different side to Trapillo. He may struggle. I don't know. And then Braxton Jones, if he's fit, if he gets back sooner rather than later, is going to be a better option. Look, I think believably looking at it now, if Braxton Jones is back, then it's a direct battle between Braxton Jones and Ozzy Trapillo for that left tackle spot. I think people have talked about moving Darnell Wright. I don't think that the Bears want to do that. I think they want Wright to establish himself as the right tackle. We've kind of seen that in OTAs and minicamp with the use of Trapillo and Amagaji at left tackle. So I think it's a straight three-way fight between the three of them. And like I said, I think the two in pole position will be Ozzy Trapillo and Braxton Jones once he is back and fit and ready to go. Like I said, Braxton Jones is not great. He's not terrible. He's not great. He's solid. And like I said, the downside is he allowed 5 sacks last year. Not good enough. So we do need to obviously improve on that. Now it's whether Trapillo can step up. It may be that the Bears start the season with Braxton Jones as the vet, and if he continues to struggle and just produce solid to average play, he then gets moved out of the lineup and Trapillo comes in. We've seen that happen in other teams where left tackles have started, veteran left tackles have started, but then have been moved out for the rookie or the up-and-coming player once the season gets underway, guys. Look, I'd love to get your thoughts. Who would you go with at left tackle for the Bears in the 2025 NFL season? I think, you go into this season, you've got a line that could be a huge difference maker for the Bears this season. Joe Thuney, one of the best left guards in football. Drew Dahlman, one of the best centers in football. Jonah Jackson, hopefully he can get back to what he was doing previously. He did fall off slightly. And obviously Darnell Wright, who there are massive hopes for. Now, if those four can bring their A game, and then you can add in a left tackle who brings a dominance, brings a quality of play that we're looking for, whether that be Ozzy Trapillo or Braxton Jones developing, it would certainly turn this Bears line into one of the best in the NFL. It certainly is one of the highest paid in the NFL. I think it ranks 4th overall in the NFL. Ryan Poles has really taken the development of this O-line and the protection of Caleb Williams very, very seriously in this offseason. Guys, who is your prediction for your left tackle? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching the Bears Huddle podcast. If you enjoyed the content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And let's remember, bear down.